Hello, welcome back to Horse Center. Horse racing today. Parx, sorry we are so far behind the eight ball today, but Parx put out a bunch of scratches about 5 minutes to post, and we tried to get up to speed on them so that our picks would reflect what's actually running at the track today. So it was a real mayhem. Good morning, John Miller. Just straight mayhem trying to get ready. We're not going to have our box set up in terms of our graphic today because just didn't have time to put it together, but we did get, I think, everything else together, hopefully. So again, all those late scratches really putting the hammer down on us, Terry.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's really pressuring when it does that,
Mm-hmm.
and you tend to make a lot of mistakes. So please forgive us if we have mistakes here. So
Hello, Sanan. Nice to see you today. Yeah, so hopefully we didn't get any mistakes. We really tried to cover them up at the end, not cover them up, but try to get everything covered so that we had everything squared away. So let's get cracking. They really just put out scratches. I had everything set up and ready to go, and then the scratches came. And at that point, Terry and I had to get everything back in order again, Jared. So, all right, so let's get cracking. Race number one. We got to get popping today, Terry, because a little bit later on, we're going to be working on some stuff with Tom in the Royal Ascot races. That'll be at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. So you're going to want to catch that. You'll be able to follow it right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. So make sure you subscribe while you're here or hit us up on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our Sean will update you when we're about to go live. Race 1, 6 furlongs, claiming 7,500, non-winners of 3 lifetime. And if we take a look at that 6 furlong profile of a winner, Terry, as we've mentioned before, 150 races, 98 won by speed, 48 went wire to wire. You've had 11 win from the rail, so the rail is improving a little bit, but still about half of what it should be. Everything else plays pretty fair. All right. Hopefully these horses are in the races, Terry. What do you
got? Okay. Number 6, Current Hopes, my first pick. He ran second in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 3 is my second pick, Last Investment. He switches to a high percentage trainer who wins 36% of the time in the first race after claiming a horse. Then number 4, Kirkerland. He drops in class today, may improve at the shorter distance, and the jockey in the last 7 days has a really good record of 2 wins out of 8 starts. And then number 5, Call Me GQ is my fourth pick. The trainer wins 37% of the time when bringing a favorite back. And the trainer jockey combination the last 14 days have won 2 out of 5 starts.
So I'm going to start my day at Philadelphia with Last Investment. It's the first off the claim for trainer Mario Dominguez, the 3 horse. That's a 37% winner in 60 races for Mario. And despite that strong win percentage, he still has a positive ROI. It's dropping him off the claim, which is a 4 of 6 winner, but it's not really a drop because he was claimed for $8,000 and the purse today is $21,000. Call Me GQ, first off the claim for trainer Penny Pierce. I know, big fan of Penny Pierce is Jared and Charles. She wins at 24% off that angle. It showed some improved late pace in the last nut race and is the only pressure in the horse in the race with a horse full of ease. So I think there's going to be a lot of speed, sits right behind the pace, maybe gets a chance to bring it home. Number 2, ET's Deuces Wild does have the top early pace numbers in the field in a group and distance that supports speed. Not a fan of the Penn to Parx move, but does have some of the top past performances for horses at Parx. And then finally, number 4, Kierkegaard. This horse is also making the first start off a claim for trainer James Estrada Bravo. Not the best angle for him, only winner of 7% so far, but does have a score at Parx and also at the distance in the money 50% of the time. Race number 2, Terry, is a 7 furlong affair claiming 5,000. This is a purse of $18,000 for 3 years old and up that have not run a race since December the 13th. And at 7 furlongs, they've gone out 107 times. 77 won by horses that were in the first 3 at the first call. 35 went wire to wire. The post positions, the rail, and 4 through 7 are fair. They win at about the rate they should. 2 and 3 outperform a little bit, and you get a slight discount if you have a number 8 or above. All right. Who are your picks in race number 2, Terry?
Okay, race number 2. Let me get my sheet. I like number 5, Petulant Delight.
Petulant Delight.
Yeah,
Yes,
Petulant Delight. Yeah, the trainer wins 36% of the time in the first race after claiming a horse, and this horse may improve at the shorter distance. And then number 4, Cause You Did It My Way. He finished third versus similar in his last race. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and the highest last speed rating. And then number 1, Anazo Beach drops in class today as my third pick. My fourth pick is number 7, Boat Over Hill. He finished third versus similar in his last race.
All of our picks, I know for me, I knew there was a chance there was going to be rain last night and that the turf would be off. So the thing is, most of these horses at Parx that ran on turf, they also have run on dirt because they don't run that many turf races at Parx. So they have a lot of dirt experience. So they're all made off the scratches. They're all made based upon, being props on a off the turf. So it should reflect everything that's out there today. Hopefully they reflect winners, man. And, all right, so race number 2, I have Cause I Did It My Way. Third start off the break for trainer Juan Guerrero, which is he tends to win. Better 6 furlong fractions at 1 mile last time out than at 6.5 furlongs the previous start. So did show a lot of speed and despite going longer. Number 1, Enzio Beach drops in class to a level that should be a better fit. Was claimed at this price last time he ran there, where he finished third by 1 1/4 lengths. Number 5, Petulant Delight does have the top early pace numbers in this field by a little bit. And there's that Mario Dominguez off the claim angle of 37% again, and does have by far the best Parx record, running 29 times, 8 wins, 6 seconds, 4 thirds, collecting over $165,000. And then number 3, Cowboy Karma. This one has the biggest advantage in the field with its late pace numbers. Far superior to all others. But the trainer record, 68 races, 0 wins, 2 seconds, and 5 thirds. That's the gambler's fallacy extraordinaire. The trainer is due, really due. So maybe finishes 4th. Probably doesn't win. Race number 3 is I like to see John Miller says, I like the 2-horse in race number 2 today. Neither one of us has. Daytime Lover, race number 4. And then 9, Don't Be Ridiculous. I think we have Don't Be Ridiculous a little bit later on in our picks too.
Yep.
Race number 3, we're back to 6 furlongs, Terry. This time around for claiming $25,000, purse $26,000. Fillies 3 years old, or fillies and mares 4 years old, which have never won 2 races. So why not just all over 3? I don't understand the extra wording. All right, Terry, take us through your 6 furlong picks in race number 3.
All right, I like number 6, Paper Mansion. She switches to a high percentage winning trainer, wins 32% of the time in the first race after he claims a horse, and the shorter distance should help. Number 7, Scarrett. She has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on May 30th. I like number 4 as my third pick, Mountain Lily. She has a high percentage winning trainer, the highest last race speed rating, and may improve at the shorter distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 5, God Still Loves Me. He has a trainer who wins 18% of the races when going from a sprint to a route to a sprint. And he can improve while returning to a sprint and has a good 4 furlong workout on June 4th.
So for me in race 3, I'm going to begin my picks with number 4, Mountain Lily. The last race looks like regression on paper based upon the speed number, but the 4 furlong time was a little bit faster at 7 furlongs versus the win at 5.5 furlongs in the previous start. I think the cutback in distance is going to help Mountain Lily here. Number 7, Scarrett, picked up some late pace interest in the last race. Also has a little bit of early wheels as well. So a decent work in between races. And it's interesting to me that Frankie Pennington is not on the 6 here. He's on the 7. And that could be because Jamie Nesh decides to go with the rate break here with Jerry and Barbosa over Pennington, who rode last time out. And this is first off the claim for Jamie, which is a 32% winner, which is basically his win rate. So really not a lot of alpha there. The horse did run a tad quicker last out over 6.5 furlongs compared to 6 furlongs in the previous start. But I really think Jamie's focused on the weight break here today. And it looks like he's doing that for a lot of his horses. Number 2, the Swift Factor. did show major signs of life in her last, with much better across the board pace numbers and a solid workout since that last race. So 4.762 for me. Race number 4, Terry, is my long shot of the day. And race 4 is 1.70 miles. Was supposed to be on the turf. It's not on the turf. But like I mentioned, most of these horses have had some experience, a lot of experience on the dirt. So I had that in mind when we were doing our picks today. Race number 4, the 6 horse at 1.70 miles. Diane's Comet. This is the second career start. Was the 2-1 favorite in her last race, and is going to get Paco Lopez as the jockey today. He's winning at a pretty good clip at Parx, although it did slow down a little bit in the last week or two. But this one's taken the biggest class drop in the field, Terry. And you don't have the 6 as your first pick. You have it as your third pick, so I still think it has a chance.
Yeah, it does. So, well, I like as my first pick, number 4, Macrilla. I guess it's, well, whatever. She finished third versus her similar in her last race, receiving the highest last speed rating, and the trainer wins 25% of the time when she's bringing back a beaten favorite again. Then I like number 3, Charlie's Wild Angel. She finished second in her last 2 races. Number 6, Diane's Comet, is your long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer. Breeding suggests, well, it doesn't matter. And she was heavily bet in her debut. And
yeah,
then number
10 would be a player, Jared. But I'm sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, number 1, Conductor, ran second in her last race.
The problem with the 10 horse here is I think he's one of the scratches because we had them both in there. I think I had him as my top pick in there.
Yeah.
So I think he's a scratch, Jared, in race number 4 here. That's why
He
it's
is.
not in either one of our picks. This is one of those, the Pegasus and Flight did scratch, one of those late scratches. That's why we were kind of late getting started, because the fact that all these late scratches came in. So keep an eye on that. Number 1, Contatore, good last time out. The race and number 1 horse, that's in race 4. So our friend Tom, who will be joining me again a little bit later on today we're going to do the Royal Ascot every single day this week, Monday through Friday. And because of that, I won't be hosting the Horse Center tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern with Sean. Instead, our friend Chris Parmalu will be filling in my role. But tonight, they'll be talking at 8 o'clock with jockey Kevin Ratke. Won 5 races on a single card at Emerald Downs 7 times. So he's the king of what is it? The Emerald City, right? Is that what they call Seattle out there?
That's right.
Well, yeah, of course, Emerald Downs, Emerald City, duh. It works like that. Number 10 is out. All right. So, yeah, Jared's got his fair share of number 10 is out. All right. So we'll move on to race number 5, Terry, for today at Parx. Let me pull that one up. So I was looking at something else. This one is 1 1/16 on the main track, claiming 7,500. Fillies and mares 3 years old and up that have not won a race since March the 13th. They haven't run very many. Well, they did run 30 so far at 1 1/16 at Parx. That's still not that many. But 18 of which were won by speed, 10 taking them from gate to wire. So far, the rail is 0 for 30. 2 and 3 win at about half of the rate they should win. So outside in is the bias from outside all the way down into the 4 horse. So it looks to me like there is an inside 3 penalty, Terry. So, of course, I got to start with the 2 horse. But anyway.
So, yeah. Well, I like number 7 as my first pick, Subsidiary. She finished third versus her similar in her last race. And she should improve at the shorter distance. And her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 2, Tosin. She ran second in her last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trailer. I like number 5 as my third pick, Londonderry. She won in her last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer, and the trainer and jockey combination the last 14 days have won 50% of their starts. Number 6 is my 4th pick, Bella G. She ran 4th in her last race at Parx Racing after being very wide throughout the race. And the trainer wins 19% of the time and bringing a beaten favorite back.
Now, this is one of the few races, Jared, where people did not scratch out. So race number 5, it's a full field. I don't think there's a single scratch in there. And I'm going to start off with number 2, Townsend. I know I said that the inside doesn't win, but This one did show early race improvement last time out. Cutting back in the 16th of a mile should be helpful here. Number 5, Londonderry has the best late pace figures in this group. Won the last race with the top last race speed figure, but is moving up in class. And I do like the 2 Lous here. You have Louis Ocasio and Louis Linder Jr. as your jockey trainer combo, and they're hitting at a pretty robust 32% and collecting a positive ROI of $2.19. Gotta love the 2 Lous pulling in a couple of bucks. Number 7, Subsidiary is usually good at the end of the race. At Parx, 9 times out, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And usually has its best late pace numbers. Best late pace average just doesn't find the winner's circle, but does find the exotics. Number 1, Little Tater is the only class dropper in the field, but the rail is 0 for 30. Should be better in the second start off the bench. But did I mention, Terry, that the rail is 0 for 30?
You did, yes.
Yes, I did indeed. Race number 6 is the end of the early pick 4. This is 6 furlongs, maiden claiming $16,000 for a purse of $24,000 for fillies that are 3 years old. All right, so this is your best bet in this race, Terry. Number 5, tell us why.
Yes, Bittersweet Symphony. She has finished in the money in all of her last 4 races. She's ran second versus similar on her last race, and she has the highest last speed rating. She has a high percentage winning jockey and a trainer who wins 20% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back. Then I like number 1, Super Surge. She switches to a high percentage winning trainer who wins 32% of the starts the first race after claiming a horse. And then I like number 3, She Wears the Pants. Sounds like my wife. Anyway, she drops in class today, and her trainer.
Does that mean
wins.
You got the skirt? What does that mean?
Hey, that's it. And she drops. Her trainer wins 26% of the time from a maiden claiming races he enters a horse in. And then number 2 is my 4th pick, Sansafe Express. She was bumped in her last race and did not finish very well, but she drops in class today and should improve while returning to dirt, as her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters.
I love your courage, Jared. The one horse in race 6. I don't know if you were listening, so I'll mention it again. This is race 6 you were talking about, not race number 5. All right, Jared. So I'll go with you on that. So we're on race 6 now. That's just 6 furlongs, though. The one horse does struggle there too. Only 11 wins in 150 races. So that's a tough nut to crack, that rail at 6 furlongs. That's why I don't have that one in there. I know that one's coming in from Keeneland, coming in from Turfway Park, but that rail is definitely a penalty, and I'll bet against something that only wins about, what is that? That's less than 10% of the time. That's about 6% of the time the rail wins. So 94% chance that the rail doesn't win. I'll take 94 over 6% every day of the week. Just simple math for me. But Bittersweet Symphony, the Verve, got sued by the Rolling Stones for that song, and they actually lost money. The Stones, with all those millions and billions of dollars, trying to get every penny they can out of folks, I guess. But anyway, Bittersweet Symphony just missed showing some early speed last time out, resulting in the top last race speed figure. Does get Paco Lopez in the irons. This horse has run at Parx a couple of times with a 2nd and a 3rd. So this one is due to graduate today. Number 2, Santa Fe Express, one of the biggest droppers in the field, flipping from turf to dirt and gets a weight break. Also possesses the top early and late pace combination in the field. Number 1, Super Surge. There's your horse, Jared, coming in, as I mentioned, from Keeneland and Turfway Park. First off the claim for trainer Jamie Ness, as I mentioned, 32% winner for the trainer. Tough rail draw, but does have a couple of decent works for trainer Ness since being claimed. And then finally, She Wears the Pants in Terry's house. This is another big class dropper. Gets a weight break and was better across the board last time out. And that one closes out our hot dog pick for us, Terry, which I hope we got all of our numbers right here, right?
I think we did.
So take us through what you got there.
Okay, I have in the first leg 6, 7, 4, 5. I think it's kind of wide open. And then in the second leg, 4, 5, or 4, 3, 6, 1. Then I go with 2 horses in the 5th, 7, 2. And then I use my best bet as a single in the 6th race, number 5.
So I just went the traditional 3-3-2-2. That was pretty close to my original pick four. I just substituted a couple horses in there. So $18 and $16 for Terry and I, starting in race number 3. It's and this is how I really bet when I bet, Terry. I don't really do prime rib pick fours. I do hot dog pick fours all of the time. Because the most I'll usually go up to is like $40.50. I think it's the number, right?
Yeah, that's a smart way to do it too, because I know so many times I do the prime rib and then I'll have one horse that doesn't make it, and I maybe lose $100 right there. So
yeah, and I find when you really try to pare things down, you concentrate more, and the more you concentrate, maybe you instead of running through it, instead of running through every horse 4 or 5 times, you run through 7 or 8 times trying to find that one thing that allows you to eliminate one horse or choosing one over another. Race number 7, Terry, is the battle of the best bet versus the long shot. It's a mile and 70 yards on the main track. They've run so far 155 races. There have been 107 won by speed, 36 that went alpha to omega, beginning to end. And then the post position, you have a very strong inside bias with 8 outperforming 4 through 7, 8+. I'm going to start with my best bet here. Charles Safari. This one does get the high win rate rail. Last race was better than it looks on paper as he ran faster times at 1 mile and 70 yards than he did in his previous 1 mile and 70 yard start. So Charles Safari is going to take on and tackle your Slew Tang Clan, which happens to be my second pick.
That's right. I like the number 4, Slew Tang Clan. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race and has the highest last speed rating. Number 6, Fearless Fly. He broke bad in his last race, so I kind of threw that one out. The trainer wins 19% of the time in claiming races that he has horses in. Number 1, your best bet, Charles Safari. The barrel post, as you said, is winning a 20% clip, and he has the best dirt speed, his fastest among today's starters. Number 3, Commissioner Dave. He broke bad in his last race, so I'm going to throw that one out, and he has the highest last speed rating at today's distance.
Charles says, forget hot dogs. He's going with Vienna sausages for his pick fours. I find myself concentrating more, actually, when I do that. So I had a good day. We actually had that if you watch the show on Thursday night when we were kind of talking over all the horses, I was really battling between Tribhuven and Channel Maker. I was going to put one first and one fourth. I couldn't make up my mind on which one. I just went with Channel Maker, but we did have Tribhuven, which happened to be the biggest price, I think, all weekend, right?
It was nice. I used it.
He was in our picks for sure. Yeah. So, it was an interesting day for me, Terry. We'll just kind of take a quick second to talk a little bit about those races, but I don't know. To me, I still can't figure out why. Okay, Latruska. Why in the world do Latruska and Search Result go 12 lengths in front of everybody else? Is not 3 lengths good enough? Is not 2 lengths good enough? How many lengths do you need to be on the lead? It just seems to me, if the only way you can get beat is to run too fast, the one thing you have to guard against is running too fast.
Yeah. Well, did you see the interview that he had with one of the people? They asked him, the jockey, whether or not any other horse was as fast as Latruska, and he said no way. So I think he got it in his head that if he just ran like crazy, he no matter what, he'd make it. But he just ran that horse right in the ground, and as you saw, the horse finished last. I did not use the horse in my picks because I had said on Thursday night that was the one I thought was very vulnerable. And I did so because I thought that something like that might happen. So,
yeah, I just don't understand it. To be honest with you, I don't care. I know Charles says sibling rivalry. I just think, okay, so what did you prove? You proved that you just both, what was it, like a $700,000 or $800,000, $600,000 purse?
Yeah.
I know they both have money, but you just cost yourself a ton of money. If they go out, instead of being 10, 12 lengths in front of everybody else, if they're 2 lengths out, they cut 2 seconds off their time, and you cut 2 seconds off your time, they finish 1, 2 in some order instead of 3rd out of 5 and just look horrible for Latruska at the end. Clarier was awesome. Yeah, it wasn't awesome for the people who had Clarier, but the fact of the matter is Clarier didn't win that race. Latruska and Search Result lost that race.
Yeah, that's
No sense in running that kind of. And I saw that over and over and over again. Where there were a couple. There was another race like that where the two horses went out and ran really way too fast, and there's no point in it at all. You saw with Flavian Pratt, and to me, watching them, Flavian Pratt and Joel Rosario proved why they're big money racers because they didn't run the race that other horses were forcing them to run. They ran their race and came home winners.
That's right.
All right, anyway, back to the picks.
Okay.
And race number 8 at Parx, 6 furlongs, claiming $7,500. Non-winners who won lifetime for fillies and mares 3 years old and up, which not have won a race since March the 13th. Let me pull our picks up for race number 8, Terry. There you go, my friend. Get started.
All right. I like the number 5 Gamut's Girl as my first pick. She has finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races, has the highest speed rating at today's distance, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 6 Southern Sense. She has finished in the money in the last 5 races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And I like number 2 Knockout Kid. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race, earning the highest last race speed rating. So this time she drops in class, and she should improve with the shorter distance. And then number 3, Angela Eddie. Angenetti. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and she drops in class today.
So I'm going to start my picks in race number 8 with the 2 horse, right? So I got a lot of 2 horses today. Knock It Out Kid just missed in her last versus some of these last time out. Ran better fractions in that race at 6.5 furlongs compared to the previous race at 6 furlongs. I always love to see horses going a little bit longer, running better fractions. I mean, that is always a telltale sign, at least to me. Maybe other people see it differently, that a horse is getting into form. Number 5, Gambit's Girl has a really good early pace advantage over the rest of the field. Has raced okay at Parx, out 22 times, 5 wins, 4 seconds, 3/3. I wanted to rank this one first, but the trainer's 0 for 25 with horses coming back after 90 days of rest. That's, can't bet a 0% win rate, right?
Yeah.
Number 1, Kawajawa Time. It takes the biggest drop in class for this group. Again, you got a tough rail draw with the 6 furlong race. Was better the first half mile of her last race. And then finally, the number 6, Southern Sense, is my final choice in the race. Does have a lot of early giddy up and go at a distance and surface that tends to favor speed. If she can have the lead going into the stretch, then she'll be hard to pass, but tends to have a history of fading late. And there is a few other horses in this field that are likely to pressure her. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Southern Sense break towards the front, get pressured, and then fade like she's done so many times, right?
That's right.
Jared says 5, 6, 3, and 1. Box it. Yeah, we haven't done our box it up yet. Again, we don't have any graphics today because it was just a little too late to do that one for us today. Naira can sometimes be a little scripted for the ownership groups. Maybe. You have Just Got Home, Crush Saturday, Belmont. That's good to hear, Nick. We had a really good day in our top 4 picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. I think we had the winner in every single race except the first race on Saturday. So 23 out of 24. Most of them were in the top 3. So we had a lot of fun that day. Giddy Up and Go. Got up and went. Thomas is over there singing, getting ready, tuning up the vocal cords for our week at Ascot. That's going to be a lot of fun, right?
Yep.
Naira's cheat sheet. Well, maybe. I don't really like to get into the cheating stuff. I just feel like a lot of these jockeys just I sometimes, if I know a guy who's never ridden a horse in a race in all of his life, and that's why I don't like to really be that critical, because I've never been in the arena, but I have played sports, did wrestle at college, and the one thing you learn when you play sports is that if there's one way for you to lose, you don't let that one way happen, right?
That's right.
Where is the Belmont coverage heading? NBC said they were done. Probably going to go to like TNT or something. So this race number 9 has the you play the hand you're dealt. Well, that's absolutely true. Race number 9 is one that is scratched city, and probably the one is the primary culprit for us starting late, Terry. So
Absolutely.
Oof, I think there's only like 6 horses out of the original 13 that were scheduled to run. So this one was supposed to be on turf. It's not. It's a mile and a 16th on the main track. And as I mentioned, at a mile and a 16th, they've run 30 races, 18 won by speed, 10 going wire to wire. The rail is over. You have 2 and 3 winning at about a half as they should. So there's clearly an outside to inside bias. And you and I are both starting with the most outside horse, who's really not all that outside after all because of all the scratches.
That's right. It was a slew of scratches. It scratched most of my horses. But anyway, here we go. Number 15 is my first pick, Margin of Error. Drops in class today. Then I like number 9, Indoctrinate. He was beaten only 1 1/4 length versus Similar in his last start, and the trainer wins 23% of the time in the second race after claiming a horse. Then number 8, A Gray for Carolyn. He won on April 27th at Parx Racing. And then number 5, Caddy's Uncle. He's 2 out of 3 races in the money in the last 3 races.
After my Rangers eliminated, yeah, your Rangers. And then what's with your Rangers fans knocking people out? Come on, Jared. You guys got to be a little bit more thin-skinned than that. Thick-skinned than that. You're New Yorkers, man. You can't be upset because some fan from Tampa Bay is talking a little crap behind you at Madison Square Garden. Only 5 weeks of Saratoga. Did you see that? Margin of Error. Yep, number 15. That's who I have too as the top horse as well. Number 15, Margin of Error. I said make him the top pick if he scratches. It's coming out of a $100,000 non-graded stakes race with enormous 2 and 4 furlong improvement in the last race. Number 5, Caddy's Uncle. On turf, I wasn't going to play him, but on dirt, he has some of the best early pace in the field. And the short field could be on the lead and tough to catch. Number 9 is Indoctrinate. Second start for trainer Philip Aristone. It's a 25% winner. It's an alpha angle for him. And he did have some of the better turf numbers in the field, but it doesn't really matter. And then finally, number 3, Austin White was my scratch in to this spot. The horse does have some late pace and should be near peak performance in his 3rd start for this gelding off the bench. Race number 10, Terry, is your box it up, right? So
yes.
Yeah, those New Yorkers, Charles Hamlin. Right? But anyway, this is your box it up, Terry. I don't have the box it up image. Tell us about your 4 picks, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box.
I like as my first pick, number 7, Easy Day. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has the highest last speed rating. This trainer wins 83% of the races when he drops a horse off a win and the horse has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Number 5, Little Harbor. He won his last race at Parx Racing. Then I like number 3 as my third pick, 1,000%. Maybe he'll go 1,000% in this race. He finished 3rd versus Similar in his last race at Parx Racing. And then number 6, G-Bert. His last win was at today's distance. The trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5 races.
Jared, I tell you what, I'll book all of the money you want on the 13 in race 9. How much do you want to put on? You want to put 1,000 on him, 5,000? I'll give you 20 to 1 odds on it.
And the only problem with that is the 13th scratched. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's why you'll do it, right?
Yes, like I say, I like to play the odds, my friend.
That's right. I don't blame you. That's a
and
sure thing.
I would play the odds there for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, you got it. You're right. So Jared's on for 1,000, 20 to 1 odds on the 13 in race number 9.
All right.
See if he lives up to his bet now. Anyway, number 10, race number 10, 6.5 furlongs, 98 races, 61 won by speed, 30 of which went wire to wire. Post position, you got a strong rail bias, small penalty for 2 and 3, 4+ play fair. I'm going to start with number 7, like you, Terry. It's going to be an easy day for Easy Day. It hasn't been an easy day for you and me, my friend, but this one did win 2 in a row, did show some major improvement last time out, dropping off the win, which, he's dropping off the win. But Scott Lake, he's done it 6 times, and he's won 5 of them. That's a high hit rate, like 83%.
Yep.
Little Harbor came off the bench last time out, that 5 horse, to win by 2 1/4 lengths at 5.5 furlongs, adding a furlong today. So I think that extra furlong is going to help with that late kick. Number 6, Giebert, Resume, says he's following a similar script in his 3 race after a layoff. First one's usually pretty good. A little bit of regression in race number 2. And then race number 3, like today, there tends to be a pop. So I'm expecting Giebert to show some more here. And then finally, number 4, Appealing Future. Coming off the bench with the Eddie C angle, had a bullet workout 2 ago, and then followed that up with the maintenance work and is off to the track today. So that wraps up our picks for race number 10. And then finally, race number 11, Terry, this one's 7 furlongs, 107 races, 77 won by speed, 35 of which went wire to wire. And race number 11 is a claiming 7,500 purse of 20 grand at 7 furlongs. The rail and 4 through 7 play fair. 2 and 3 are the best. You do get a slight discount if you wear an 8 or above. I'm going to go with number 8, despite the discount in my box it up. Just missed by a half length in the last race. Drops in class with the top last race speed figure. Love that combination. And Jamie Ness, well, I mean, it's Philadelphia. It's Parx. He's always on fire, but he's been particularly hot of late, hitting the board with 7 wins, 6 seconds, and a third in his last 19 starts. Princess Carrera, better pace numbers across the board in her last, dropping off the claim. Normally suspicious for me, but was claimed for $10,000, and today's purse is 20 grand. So if it gets claimed and if it wins, it's a profitable one race for Princess Carrera. Number 4, Broad Jumper, finished second versus many of these last time out, and did so with better fractions. And then number 10, Hit a Homer Honey. That's what we're looking to do today at Parx and at Royal Ascot a little later on today with Thomas. If I haven't mentioned it, we'll start at 3 o'clock. Great races starting tomorrow over in England, so you're going to want to catch that. Terry, finish up today's picks.
Yeah, I like number 8. She's Got Game. She finished third in her last race, receiving the highest last speed rating and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then number 5, Princess Cara, is my second pick. She has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now. Then number 10, Hit a Homer Honey. She finished third in her last race at Parx Racing, but has won 1 out of 4 starts there. And then number 6, Halla Girl. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and her best start speed is close to the average winning speed.
All right, Terry. So that wraps up the show's picks for the day. Let's take a look at they're talking about the pick 5. Oh, that's not the pick 5. There we go. There's a pick 5. Terry is going to go 3, 4, 2, 2 for $72. And Charles says he thinks it's going to be kind of chalky today.
That's the Philly 5.
Yeah, the Philly 5.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's what they call it over there, Terry. The Philly
5.
That's
true.
So it's the prime rib Philly 5. I'm going to go 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. I hope we catch at least one price in there and can collect a few bucks. On the prime rib pick 4, Terry's going to go straight up a hundo because I think he wanted to get every horse in every race.
I did.
And then I just going to go with the $96 one. I had actually a little bit cheaper one earlier on with the normal horses in there before all the scratches. So hopefully we catch some prices in the back end. Again, here are our full card picks. Our hot dog pick 4 starting in race number 3. The prime rib pick 4 in race number 8. And then, of course, our hot dog, our Philly 5 selections for today. Well, Terry, it was kind of a crazy day, right?
It was, yes. Very crazy. So
Nick says in race number 11, the 9 is out. In race number 9, the 9 got scratched. So that must be a late scratch then, right?
In which race?
Race number 9, Nick is saying that in race number 9 through 11 out. And race 11, he's talking about something else.
Yeah.
All right. So, because I think, man, even more scratches, what a bummer that would be.
Yeah.
Right. Want to say thank you to Eric Van Buren, Liam T.M. Fook, Jack Collins, and John Miller for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you like what you saw, please give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that button. So later on, when Tom and I start to talk a little bit about all of those races at Ascot this week, you'll be notified right away. And then, of course, one thing I forgot today, Terry, was your best bet of the day at Finger Lakes in race 5. So take us through.
Yeah. I like number 6, Your Awesome Boss. He likes the track
Thank
finishing
you.
in. Beg your pardon?
You said you're awesome, boss. I said thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's true. He likes the track finishing in the money in 4 out of 6 starts. He's won one of those races, and he can handle the distance. And I like number 7, Belgio. He has won 6 out of 13 career starts. That's pretty good. I'm sorry. No, he's been in the money 6 times out of 13 starts, and he's won 3. He broke slow and was wide throughout the last race. If he can get a cleaner trip, he'll be right there in the mix. And the number 1, High Command, like Belgio, he had a lot of trouble in his last race, so I'm going to throw that one out. He will need to get a better start, but if he does, he'll be closing for a piece of the exotics. And yesterday, my first pick ran second. My second pick won the race. And so it wasn't too bad of a day.
Nope. And then over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, there is a link on the description in YouTube and at Facebook. And there's plenty of them over at horseracingtoday.net. Please use those links. Finger Lakes is the free track of the day with number 5, I Love Majel, as the first pick in the maiden claiming race. So make sure you head on over there if you're going to do some Finger Lakes picks. Again, we'd appreciate it if you use a link at horseracingtoday.net or in the description on Facebook or YouTube. We'd appreciate that. Only turf race at Mountain tonight. Let's see. Mountaineer tonight, Finger Lakes. He also like Finger Lakes. Well, a lot of times, good luck to you today, Nick. We appreciate that. Again, make sure you check out Tom and I at 3 o'clock Eastern today. We're going to go through all of the races this week at Ascot. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. It should be, hopefully we pick a lot of winners because there's usually those races over there, you get some prices. So, and you got high quality horses. Tom and I will be looking for them. Again, tonight, Chris Parmalu will be filling in for me with Sean at 8 p.m. with special guest Kevin Ratke, who wins every race. He's the king of Emerald Downs.
Yeah, and that's something. He came from Golden Gate Fields, He was racing there for quite a while.
Yeah, we're going to do all of Tuesday races. Only Tuesday, all of Tuesday's races only. We're not going to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I thought the plan was to do the whole week. 4-horse race 1, nice price play in race 1, says Charles, the 4-horse. And again, just to kind of do all of the picks again, the 4-horse is Terry's 3rd pick. My 4th pick, Tom Golden Pal will be beat. All right. He's going to go all off on Golden Pal. But we are doing all week, right, Tom? You're not messing me up, right? Yes, all week. Okay, fantastic. It's going to change right on here. Nottingham today, prices galore. Yes, those English races, there tends to be prices galore. Terry, how far are we away to race 1 over here at Parx?
About 2 minutes.
Minute. Yeah, 2 minutes away. So.
2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes.
All right, that wraps up today's show, Terry. It was a mess to get started. Hopefully, we cleaned it up nicely, and we clean up at the track at Parx today. So your final thoughts before we leave.
Just that everybody have a good day and don't get pressured like we were today. It's a little bit stressful, although I work pretty good that way, and I know that Rich does too. And just, give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, and have a great day and a great week. Win at the races, win in everything you do in life.
Mm-hmm. We certainly hope everybody has a fantastic Monday. Terry and I will be back tomorrow to do horse racing, Horseshoe Indianapolis. Well, Wednesday, we'll do Delaware Park. Haven't quite made up our mind for Thursday yet. Looking forward to that. We're not sure who our guest for Thursday night will be. We'll get that from Sean. As always, follow us on our Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter accounts. Subscribe here at YouTube. Have a fantastic Monday. And no matter what you do between the time you and I get back together for Thomas and our day at Ascot, we hope that everything ends up in the
winner's circle.
Have a great Monday.